Hello and
Everyone, we're
welcome.
talking about coronavirus.
What's up? It's Stars with number Abaddon. Oh yeah, it's exciting today. How's everyone going? We're all gonna die. It's the apocalypse. It's coming. It's come for us. Goodbye.
Everything's shit. I blame Matt.
No, nothing changed. All that happened was school closed and
No,
everyone's happy.
fuck that. This year was
School
going to be
didn't
the
close.
best year of my goddamn life, and now it's not. So, I'm pissed.
Everything's
Oh,
shit,
no.
and I blame Matt.
Oh no! Stop blaming me for the coronavirus. I didn't cause it. You can't prove that in a legal court.
And you can't prove you didn't.
I'm gonna change things up a bit today. It's gonna be a bit crazy. Normally, I throw to Liam. And Liam just throws to someone else. And that's a pointless exchange. So today,
Isn't everything involving you a pointless exchange?
I was gonna throw to you. Nut, what are we doing today, Nut? Tell us what happened last week.
The same thing we're doing every week,
Yeah.
my friends.
Oh, you're French now.
Conquering the world.
Oh God,
I'm sorry, you
Napoleon.
don't look like a rat with a giant head.
Oh god, here comes Napoleon.
Mm,
I hope you're really short, Nut. You better be short as fuck.
I'm fairly sure it's like
wow.
6 foot something.
well,
You need
we
to tell us
got
from here.
kidnapped on board.
Yeah,
We
you
got
did.
kidnapped and we got back to the planet, and now we are doing some negotiations.
We did have a short session last week,
We did.
Yeah.
and not trying to take over the planet.
So how did
I
we
don't
end up?
approve of this.
Where was our end?
Not trying to take over the planet.
I think
I
our
gave them
final.
a suggestion,
What was
and
the
you
final
said,
line?
"Well, I'm just
Yeah.
gonna need a week to think about what the fuck I'm gonna do with
What
that."
was the final line?
It was something stupid. I remember.
My
I don't
dear-
remember what.
I think it's time to try it again, or something like that. Something. Let's try conquering the planet again.
It was
Yeah, I said some things are ripe for a sequel.
I
That's
should
it.
probably open roll 20.
It was
Probably.
definitely it was definitely Miriam basically saying, "Hey, I'm here to kill all of you. I won't, but my payment for that is you make me empress of this shithole."
Yup.
Like that was the gist.
Yeah. No, I mean Miriam
Yep.
isn't.
I mean,
Yeah.
I have a follow-up to that, but
Fucking
then-
great.
Also,
I hope
Tails
so.
fucking
Cancel
hates you.
Oh
Brilliant. I love it.
God.
you're just jealous.
That's the
Tail
wrong
just
game.
she doesn't understand me. I just want to be an empress. She just doesn't get it.
She doesn't get it.
Tails is my
God.
only character who doesn't want any kind of power.
Oh.
Oh my god, I just want to be an empress, you know?
All right, Empress
Yeah.
Liam, Space Empress Liam,
Yes.
Wizard
Oh
Supreme,
my
Space
God.
Empress Liam. What are we doing? Take us
Okay.
into the space
Like,
zone.
oh my god.
Okay.
Fucking
So I
Christ, I'm gonna
think
die.
we
Give me the
I-
coronavirus already.
It doesn't affect
Jeez.
young people, Matt.
it does.
Not as
Get flu
not as
symptoms.
badly.
Anyway, moving away from that because that's not what this game is about. There ain't
What
no
is this game about?
apparently Miriam becoming empress of a planet. I don't know.
What a weird and shitty turn this has taken.
It's taken a turn.
I'm gonna keep one of my goals from last week, even though I just
So
completed it.
I think we see I think we cut back to we see kind of Miriam giving her like I want to be empress speech, that part, her proposition. But we don't hear any of the audio of Miriam. We recognize the scene and it's shot from all the same angles and we see all the same people talking. We see their mouth moving, but we don't hear any audio. And instead, Harold, Mr.
Augur, come on, thank you.
um,
Don't be as bad as the other two.
you-
You're the GM.
I don't have to be as bad as I fucking want. If anyone's
Choose
the
to be
emperor here, it's
better.
me.
Choose to be better.
Yes,
Liam.
in your head, you hear the now familiar voice of White Sun, and it says, "Augur, are you listening?
No.
I have something to show you.
Exciting.
We should leave this building."
Question.
We should leave this building.
Okay. Question though.
We should leave this building.
So I think that happens like a ton of more times. But Augur's like as Augur's leaving the building, like
Yeah, and I think
question though.
as whatever the last line from last week was, whatever the exact words, we hear that as Augur walks out of the door. The door like shuts behind him. It's the perfect like exclamation point for the last line of last episode. And White Sun starts giving you like directions. Like it says like go down the elevator. When you get to the end, continue, take this left, take this right, so on and so forth.
There's like a quest marker, ding, ding,
Yeah.
ding, ding.
As
But it's just-
as Augur's going down this path, they're talking to White Sun or whoever about how Miriam would definitely disapprove of them just following these instructions very blindly and not questioning them at all. They're following them though.
Yeah, so
Miriam would
you
not
say that,
approve of this at all.
and yeah, you mentioned that it's they wouldn't approve. Miriam wouldn't approve of you following without questioning. And White Sun says, "You've been asking if you can ask a question for the last 5 minutes."
Yes, but we haven't gotten a reply yet, which we think is what Miriam would be the stickler on.
True.
Through that door?
And yeah, like they continue to guide you, and I think eventually you're kind of led out of the academy and into the deeper parts of this town, and I think as you move kind of further and further away from the academy, I don't know if Augur notices it, but like filming perspective, we definitely notice, the audience notices that the environments that we are passing through are getting more and more run down, and less maintained as we get further away from this academy. And I think it's some arbitrary amount of time later as you're walking through some of these kind of rundown streets, and White Sun says, almost out of nowhere, "Have you ever wondered why a corporation hasn't challenged this place before?"
I'm thinking. The corporation has challenged this place.
We were the first.
Then no.
It like there's a pause, which is like noticeable in the conversation, but if we had a timer in the bottom left of the screen that showed like how long has actually passed, it's like half a second. And
That's
says,
very noticeable then.
Yeah, it says, well, I guess there was other corporations in the very beginning, but it's been some time now, and this independent colony has thrived, continued with its independence, and, well, we're the first people to challenge them since then.
How come?
Continue following, and I will show you.
No, not why no one else is challenged. Why are you challenged? What do you want? Beyond the obvious.
I think in part this will explain that.
Well, that is terrifyingly intriguing. Carry on.
Yeah, and I think, it's probably another 10, 15 minutes of kind of walking through this town.
Before we continue, I just for
Yep.
housekeeping, how long has it been since we were abducted?
Same day.
Yeah, like
since
6 or
got
8
up to
hours.
6 or 8 hours? All right. So
Yeah.
from the time we left the lecture hall to now, it's been like around 10 hours, around about that.
Yeah, I'd say 8, 9 hours, somewhere around there.
Cool. That's all.
And yeah, after a little bit more of kind of weaving through this town, you see people. It's populated. They're all wearing kind of very basic clothing, nothing overly fancy or they're not well dressed anyway. But they don't look, malnourished or anything like that. They look healthy. And eventually, White Sun leads you to a building which you step through and into like an elevator that takes you down. And whilst you're kind of on this, it says, "This is the reason why the planet was first colonized, and why the initial fight was, well, the initial challenges were brought. And this is the reason why this independent colony was allowed to continue as it was." And it it descends.
It
descends.
Is there lights on the elevator?
I don't think so.
Yeah, okay, cool. That's the answer I wanted. As the doors shut, I think from somewhere out of Augur's Greek toga, I want to re-emphasize that green Greek toga. Like one of the little spider we saw in a few episodes ago pops out, and its one of its many eyes, or several of its many eyes, like a white light shines out, and we see it just perched on Augur's shoulder.
Okay. And it doesn't. Watson doesn't say anything else until you reach like the bottom. The doors open into a like a large, kind of obviously excavated, like a man-made cavern. It says, "This planet is rich in natural resources. The people who rule here, they're not nice people. Well, I guess in correct terms, they are nice people if you're gifted. To those who aren't, this is their lot. They don't exactly have a choice in the matter."
What do you mean they don't have choice? We all have choice. That's all we have.
Most of the people who live here don't have anywhere else to go. And to remain on planet, this is what they do.
But they have a choice in that, don't they?
The choice is between this or leaving planet. And like I said, most people here don't have that choice. They have stepped the wrong direction in regards to corporate law. And a place that is more governed by that law is out of bounds to them.
Okay, so Augur, I think, is, if you're a normal human, it's very, all you have to go off on Augur and how like tell what they're feeling and their emotions. All you have is their voice tone.
Sure.
And it's normally just chipper, or stroppy teenager, as we found out last time. So I think White Sun has a lot more context around what Augur is feeling. I don't know how that's represented for like the viewers. But there's a lot more context there, like maybe whatever that is.
Yeah, I mean AI will normally show that in different. Each AI has their own way. White Sun, you might have noticed when like dealing with it in person, if you will show colors generally to express emotion. So blue would be sad and red would be angry, and like it links those colors to what humans would generally understand and would show those colors visually.
So,
but other AI have their own way of doing things.
So I think then the way Augur does it for like humans' sake, whether they were programmed like that or learned, the voice is everything. Like the way they inflection is all that. But I think maybe like other AI get like some sort of weird psychic, like because of our AI's connection to the maelstrom, like there's a weird like this strength changes
there's a feeling,
the frequency.
Right? Yeah.
It's like just literally a feeling. That's all it is. And cool. So when Augur says this, White Sun can tell that they are very confused and incredibly like a mixture between concern and being disturbed. How can they have? How can they not? How do they not have choice? How can that be?
They do. They could leave if they wanted. They don't stop them from leaving, but leaving would be returning to a society where they don't fit. They're a cog moving the wrong direction. These people have the choice. They could leave, but they don't because, well, even though they can leave, they can't really.
That doesn't. What would happen if they did?
If they left,
Yeah. Yes.
they would eventually fall into corporate security in most cases, or they would become, well, as refuse does.
But they're free here to do what they want to do.
They are, but the people in charge here offer only one option if you require food, which humans do, and housing, which humans do.
So
If a person who is not gifted wishes to continue accessing these things, they work here.
What about farming? People need food.
The planet is mostly arid. Well, not human biosphere. It doesn't mesh well. Like I said, this planet was mostly inhabited for its natural resources. The rest of this planet isn't, well, the native fauna and plant and animal life is toxic to the human. Generally, our food doesn't grow here. They subsist mainly on trade, which is why our blockade has been effective and why they need people to work. The natural resources are all they have.
So I think as this conversation, we're walking through the tunnels as this conversation is happening.
Yeah.
What are we seeing? Just to give some context.
Just like people who don't necessarily look happy. They don't always look sad. Like some people, this is just their job. They just come and do it, and they do their time here, and they go home, and that's it. But like it's obvious, I think, to the audience, if not Augur, that not everyone wants to be here. However, that manifests.
Yeah.
I suppose I should ask how much of this is automated and how much of this is like back-breaking manual labor.
Yeah. So walking through, we see a lot of machinery and a lot of powered exoskeletons and shit like that. But a lot of it looks really old and not well maintained, and it looks like, if we took, say, a powered exoskeleton, and then a part broke on it, they don't necessarily have the spare part to attach. So a lot of it looks like it's been fixed, but fixed without having spare parts. So jury-rigged and fixed as much as possible using the materials they have on planet. But people are trading food because that's their most vital resource. Some parts here and there, and Psytech. I mean, the psychics look well off, but shit like this, it doesn't look like either they're intentionally not trading for it. They definitely don't have the ability to produce it themselves, one way or another. or people aren't trading it to them. It's it's impossible to see which one. Either then deciding not to take it, or people aren't giving it to them. And if we're looking, most of the tech that is here that's being used is from the era in which the planet was colonized originally.
Ooh,
So it's maybe
old.
120 years old. Like most of it's jury rigged as best as possible now.
Why don't they fix their equipment?
They can't. They don't have the means to reproduce what they have. They could, of course, trade with the outside, but they have other priorities.
Why not? Why would the university not pay to get it fixed? That doesn't make sense. Why would? That's illogical.
They have other priorities.
But it would increase efficiency. It would make their lives easier.
It would make their lives easier, but would it really increase the amount of ore they pull from this planet? I doubt it. At least not a profitable amount. Me and those in the station above believe the academics, and there's a tone to that, know exactly what they're doing.
What does the tone say? It's specific. What does Augur pick up from that? Can I roll something?
Disgust?
Okay.
I don't think
need
you have to roll it.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. And what would you and Black Sun rather happen here? From what we know of Black Sun, they are a standard corporation. Corporate servitude and all that.
Yes, probably. But we would maintain these environments a lot better than they did. We have the resources to, whereas they don't. They have to trade for food. We don't. These people's lives would be better.
We have found that corporate contract leaves very little room for choice. They would trade one lack of choice for another lack of choice.
No. Black Sun has it on record. They're willing to pardon any who've committed wrongs against them. They would be free to... it would say anyone who committed a crime against Black Sun would be free to transverse anywhere within the colonized systems.
But you just said that they don't want to leave this place because they're a cog turning the wrong way. You would
Some.
force them into that machinery, force them to be a cog turning the wrong way.
And yet it would give them more options. More choices, you say. A freedom to choose. A cog turning the wrong way can at least find a size that fits.
Why are you showing us this?
Because these people believe we are the problem. They believe they are holier than thou. I want to show you they're not.
It doesn't matter what we do. We don't have a decision in this. You saw
And
on the
yet-
ship that... You saw on your station that Miriam does as she will. And tail is... Well, tail's tail.
And yet, information is crucial to decisions. You have this now. It is up to you how you use it. I'll leave you. I'm sure you could find your way back.
5 hours later, where am I?
No, I mean, I think August stays down there for quite a while.
Yeah, and I mean, you feel the connection, whatever connection White Sun had, it leaves, it disconnects, and Augur is left to their own devices.
Wouldn't the tech that you guys copied and pasted all over the internet just help people adapt to this place? And
It could in the future. Right now, it's still in early developmental stages.
Yeah, for sure. It's like this place isn't human missable, but that tech absolutely could help them change that.
Problem with that tech is it would be expensive to develop, yada yada yada.
Yeah, expensive to develop, and who is it really benefiting?
Like I said, different boss, same shit. No matter what way we look at it.
Okay. So what happened? So I think back at the university, I think that Miriam and whoever else is there, they need time to make this decision. So they've gone to do that, and I think they've called like a meeting of the important people on planet. Is there anything you want to do whilst they do that?
See, I don't know what Tail would do in this situation.
I'm gonna sneak in on that meeting.
I think Tail's just following you.
Yeah, sure.
So you're gonna try and like, I guess, eavesdrop, or are you just gonna like physically impose yourself into that meeting?
I'm gonna eavesdrop first, and then physically impose myself when the timing is right.
Okay, I mean, I think the meeting is like you can do that, right? I don't think there's too much security or hassle with getting there. You can. It's not a problem for you specifically. I think you notice Tail following you and realize that Tail is probably going to be more of a problem.
Tail has decent sneak.
Getting noticed wise.
Like, even she's not sneaking at all, but she does have decent sneak.
Yeah.
Tail, why are you following me?
Because I don't trust you.
And you somehow think following me will help with that.
It lets me know what you are doing.
Weren't you supposed to go with Green? Maybe learn some psychic bullshits?
That everyone is here. Important.
I suppose.
The people who could help me are in there.
No. They really, well, they could, I suppose.
Miriam, why are you like this?
Why are you like you?
There's probably a very good explanation for why I'm like me, but there isn't one for you.
Of course there is. I just don't care to explain myself.
If I knew about myself, I would.
Well, Tail, if you think these people are so good, why don't you go see their cities and what they have built with it?
I'm not interested in their city.
You just want help? See? You are selfish as well.
I want help so I can help others.
No, you want help for yourself.
And once I've been helped, once I have what I want,
Who will you
I'll
help?
be able to help anyone.
Who is these
everyone.
others?
Other people like me. People trapped by this.
I don't know what this is.
I pointed to she points to the brand.
Well. You know, they brand the people here too, you know. There's just a different set of rules.
There are rules everywhere. Some rules are good for people. Some are bad. And someone enforcing their own rules upon people who People who can't understand why is worse than someone enforcing rules to help people.
You are a confusing mess. That's not the reality around you. You seem to have some idea about what you want to do. But you're going to meet a wall.
My entire life has been a series of walls. I've gotten past them all so far.
Yes. And when that wall is other people, what do you do?
When the wall's other people, I do what I have to, or what I can at least.
Or you
what I-
ask for grain, or you ask for me to kill people? I heard you before.
Yes, but I didn't. You didn't. No, did I ask you to kill people?
Yes, you asked me to kill Sarah. You told me she would betray us. Whatever you want, whatever you wanted to happen, you said the opposite.
Yes, but when that action didn't take place, I went around it, and Olga and I found our own way.
I suppose.
There is always
You
another
didn't-
way.
But you didn't look for that way until afterwards, until after you knew I would not kill her.
And then you should look for another way that doesn't involve enslaving these people.
They are built for enslavement.
No one is built for slavery, Miriam.
Well, I suppose my version is different than yours. When I say slavery, I mean other people. You have to have rules. These are willing chains. They put them on themselves.
And you will force them to do what you want to make yourself money.
No. I don't think you understand. There's a. You've seen the fleet?
Yes.
Yes. I am just the vanguard. They asked for my help first because I'm cheaper than bombing this place.
They are also in the wrong.
These people will have to adapt to the reality, not this fictional thing you've developed. And I have the solution.
And the solution is you.
Yes, the solution is me. Because the alternatives are hovering over their heads.
Why can't they just stay as they are?
Because other people fail.
That doesn't matter. Other people can be stopped. If you wanted to, you could stop them without trying to take over.
No, I cannot stop them. They are a
Then-
corporation. Corporations are bigger than just the people up there. You have to kill a corporation, you need a government. And to these people, I'm going to persuade them to make me the government. Then I can deal with the people who are corporations.
If you think you can deal with, if these people can deal with them with just a change of leadership, why can't they do it without change of leadership?
Because they are idiots. They let the strike fleet come over their heads.
I don't think they could have stopped that, Miriam.
Of course they could have. All they would have done is change their priorities. They have all the raw materials here to build what they need. But they haven't. They have sat here in their gilded halls with their psychic mumbo jumbo, and they've pretended the world does not exist.
Teo doesn't say anything.
Yes. I'm not a psychic, but I can read people. So, try to be sneaky. I'm going to sneak in. Can you be sneaky?
Yes.
Good. Let's see how sneaky you are. You first.
Ooh. I think not just prompted Quack for a roll
Yeah.
in
I was
character.
pressing the button.
That was very well done, not very smooth.
I've noticed something about the way we play. We never use talk against each other.
No, because that's boring.
Yeah.
We usually roleplay so goddamned much. We make the rolls in the actual conversation, which is pretty cool,
Hmm.
I think.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like you guys know your characters enough that you play them to the point where you can just try and convince each other.
I think
It's also kind of hard for me at the moment because Teo technically has two personalities.
the thing that helps most of all is that we've been playing together for like nearly 5 years now, so we know
Yeah.
each other very well, and how we
Where's the
and our
posture from that?
playstyles.
My
Which is
suit.
crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, I mean, you both sneak to within a range. You can hear it. It's probably within like a soundproofed conference hall. You need to like hack in to you have to actually hear any audio.
Oh my. Well, I'll just have to try. What's like program or
Yeah, program.
shit?
What else would it be to hack shit?
I don't know.
That was the classic.
Well,
Let me roll the high T skill, Liam. That was the classic Matt right there.
Yes, but not didn't have anything to wrap to make mumbo jumbo it up.
yo,
No, he did not.
Didn't have any bullshittery.
Well, I mean, I could try fix, which is higher than
That would
minus one.
make it hard to hack.
But yeah, that's nope. That's just bad.
Yeah, I don't think you do. I think you try to get in, but you're unable to get past their security systems.
Can I see anybody in the room?
Yeah, I mean it's you see the windows. You can look through.
Like, can I actually directly see anyone though?
Yeah.
Like, yeah. If you want to hear them, I could read their thoughts for you.
That would be weird, but okay. I cannot get in. This is dumb.
I realize that.
This
The
is
door
Where
made a
is
beeping
Augur?
sound.
Where is Augur when I need him?
He wandered off before.
Oh, yes.
He looked concentrated on something.
I'll try to read lips. You try to read minds. Let's hope we notice something interesting.
They can see us, you know, if we stay here too long.
Well, I don't really care. They'll invite us in when they see me, probably.
Who's the leader dude again?
the professor.
Yeah, is he there?
Yeah, of course.
Then I'm trying to read him if I can.
Professor Harold?
Professor Richard Harrell.
Yes. Let's press this button. Ooh, I can do a thing. 7.
Nice.
You get nothing.
Why'd you roll the
I'm trying
skill?
to read it. Like
Telepathy
whoever-
skill. Same. Does the same thing. It just makes better sense to roll skill than just roll to the actual ability name.
Oh,
Doesn't
that does make
matter,
sense.
You get nothing.
I'm gonna just try to read lips and see who's speaking.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even think you need to do that. Like, it's very clear. You've got like the professor and Ingrid who are like telling people what you said, and everyone else is super pissed.
Oh man. Wow. It's too bad I can't teleport in there. Everyone else is super pissed.
Yeah, like you can see the like anger and frustration and like I think at one point you probably can't lip read much, but I think you at some point you see someone saying the fucking audacity. Like they're not happy. with your suggestion.
Miriam,
Hmm?
if you get your way, what will you do?
Why, I will tell them that I can. I've given them the golden opportunity. They know who is going to kill them, me. So we should just fake their deaths. They should go in hiding. Easy.
So your plan is what they would do without you. Go into
No,
hiding.
they need a credible source to tell the corporation upstairs that they are actually dead. And I am that source.
I think once you tell them, the corporation will come down and find it's not true. They'll expect
Well-
to find dead people.
I can just blow them up.
And then the corporation will blow you up
Why?
because you attacked them.
No.
What I've seen, these people aren't friendly.
Well, you know how psychics are. They think they have infinite powers.
It's
They
because we
forget
do.
They don't.
More than you.
The power over life and death is the only power that matters.
And some of us can do that. I've heard stories.
Sure.
There's tales of psychics who can regenerate from nothing. A speck of blood.
I'll believe that when I see it.
Meanwhile, flashback to I forgot your other character's name.
Uh,
Holy shit. Doss. No, Dahl. Lieutenant Dahl. No, Commander Dahl. Captain Dahl?
Just dull.
just dull. All right. So I can't get in via the security, but I can see them, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you can just go bang on the glass if you want.
Yeah, I think I do that. I think I'm done listening. I knock on the door, and it's like the knock is like dun 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 dun.
Suddenly,
Everyone-
the Fox music starts playing.
Everyone stops and looks at you, and then they turn back and they have like a little bit of more of a conversation, and it just ends with the professor standing up and going like, and then he comes and walks to the door and says, opens the door and says, Miriam, we're not quite finished with our discussion yet.
Well, you haven't finished talking about me behind my back. Come now.
Oh,
I believe it was quite obvious what we were talking about. That's hardly going behind your back. You have given quite the question to our small group.
I'm sure that I would rather be inside this room than outside of it listening in. So, can I come in?
She couldn't hear anything.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that most people inside this room will not speak their mind with you inside it. And I think, like, from inside the room, we hear someone say, fuck that, I'll tell the bitch exactly what I fucking think of her ideas.
I like that man.
I think she already knows.
I know you don't like me. And you don't like my suggestion either. But what alternatives have you got? I see
Says-
you are happy to debate the deplorable solution I've offered, but present none of your own.
Yeah, I mean, so he says, fine, come and sit. He looks on the table. I do have a counter offer if you'd be willing to listen.
Of course. This is a debate about your destiny. I merely provide an option.
Irish guy. Not again. A good one.
He gestures you into the room. There's some bad energy in this room towards you, Miriam. They're positively filled with hate stares. He says, I would like to welcome Miriam to our little discussion. And Miriam, I have a counter offer to yours. We here are a academic democracy. We cannot in any way dignify the idea of a sole leader, an authoritarian leader with real thought. And I don't think any of us, and he looks around the room, specifically making eyes with the gentleman who yelled out before, could accept such terms. But as the Democratic Council we could offer you a seat at our table. A membership to our council. An equal share in power and decision-making rights and opportunity, and equal vote on matters that are important. And I think you probably catch it, Miriam, because I think you're listening. Under his breath, the other guy says, "And that's the best you'll fucking get, bitch."
I like that guy.
I see. And this equal rights thing is going to work out with the men upstairs. Wouldn't you rather be the hidden power behind the authoritarian dictator, as you have so audibly called me?
He gestures, he says, I would never be able to face my peers again, knowing that I had openly approved such a style of leadership. Like I said, we can invite you to our council, but I am afraid that is all. An equal share and an equal vote.
So, all the people who are not psychics have equal share and equal vote?
They have representation here.
Really? I don't see anyone here who's not a psychic.
We have the best concerns of the planet as a whole and our independent state.
And I would say you have done an appalling job of it. There's a blockade fleet upstairs. How do you, if I were to accept this proposal where everybody has equal shares and you run things business as usual, what do you think you can do? I bought you time.
He says, I think we can negotiate terms with the powers that be. We have offerings on the table, and we can increase a share to them.
I have a
That
question.
is all they want. They are corporate, and money is all they care for. So if we put some of that on the table, more of that than their peers, they would go away.
I have a question.
Everyone in the room looks at you.
Why is it they've come after you now? For years they left you alone. Is there something new?
Rather,
Nothing.
it's something they didn't do.
There
They
is
didn't
nothing new.
form a national army. They did not use the metal here to create their own fleet. They didn't present a credible defense. And so now they are here with a fleet of guns because you did not keep the
He
Well, I
laughs.
want to roll to tell if he's telling the truth. Like to what's that skill called in D&D?
Inside.
Yeah, insight.
Notice.
Notice with charisma.
Yeah.
I think that's good. I don't think this guy's a great liar. Yeah, he's lying.
You're lying to me.
He looks at you. And what if I am? What does
Is
it
there-
matter? We are still what we represent. We are a free haven for those who do not wish or want or can exist within the society that they offer. Like I mentioned, yourself.
I understand that, but you're lying to me about the question I asked. You
And why
said
does that change anything?
if there's something they want, something new here, what is it? Why can't you just give it to them and they'll
They
go
want-
away? They want to
Liam die?
freeze.
Okay, I thought that was dramatic pause. No, Liam died.
I thought it was a
Oh.
dramatic pause as well for a moment, then I noticed his eyes are half open.
Yeah. It's a creepy death stare.
Again,
Whoop.
There he is.
There you
There he
go.
is.
He says they want what they have always wanted: control, power, and money.
My
We are
question
unwilling to give them-
I still ask my question. Why now? Something has changed. Before they were ignoring you for the most part. Now they've come within the full force. Something they want has changed here. What is it?
We are direct competition to them.
You
We
always were.
take applicants. We take potential recruits.
You
And we
always
have
were.
natural resources. Everything they want: power, money. We have all of it, or the potential for all of it.
Now, you think that stops if they give you a hand? They're gonna take your arm. And then they'll take the rest.
You're as bad as them. All you
course.
care about is yourselves.
He laughs. That is quite the logical leap, my dear. We are here doing what we do, struggling as we are, living like we do, to provide a refuge for those who do not fit in our society. Do you think that is easy? Do you think we have not all had to make sacrifices to do that?
I do. I understand that.
No, you don't. No, you don't. You have lived in their world, you've been taken advantage by their world, but you have not had to struggle against it. You have left, somehow, however you managed, and you have found this crew. If you had really struggled as we did, this crew, every second of every day, would have been asking you for something to keep you on their side of their corporate arm. Considering you are still here, with as little as you have to offer, I'm imagining they have not.
No.
Then you do not know our struggle. You don't know what we have to do to provide this safe haven and this refuge. So do not pretend like you do.
Tail steps back.
And back to Miriam. And of our offer.
considering that there are only two ways this fleet above you vanishes. Well, three, if you try to negotiate. I do prefer the last two, though, where I pretend to kill you all so I can rule this planet, and you go into hiding. Let's not talk about the third option.
The gentleman who has spoke up a few times says, and you think they'd let you keep it? All of this? A person such as yourself? You think they don't have the power to come and overwhelm you?
I am a Martian citizen.
Like that matters.
Oh, it does. There are ancient rules, but they are rules still.
And yeah, the professor turns back to you. You know what there are no rules for? Empresses. Which is what you deign to be.
Yes.
There is no legal place in their system for you, for what you
Well,
want.
what I'm calling myself and what I am are two different things. The legal argument could be used to stall, while I built a suitable fleet in response.
With what resources? Do you think if we had the tech and manufacturing labs to create a fleet we wouldn't have? Do you know what happens? Do you know what happens when you start to pose a credible threat to their society?
This.
This.
War.
Do you know what a fleet, an uncontrolled fleet, is to them?
Not much.
A threat.
All I
Even a
need to
single
do,
ship. Even a single ship could jump into one of their systems and tear it whole. A fleet? A fleet, they might not be able to stop a single ship. They might stop 20, 30. But all it takes is one. One to get through. A fleet they do not control is a threat. And do you think they would let you linger here as a threat, a thorn in their side?
well, you see, you are on the outskirts of this place. There are credible ways to find planets that are not discovered yet, where one might be able to start something of a society and then reach outwards. All I'm suggesting really is that you work for the benefit of that by faking your deaths. And
You want them to abandon this place.
Yes.
He shakes his head. Miriam, my offer is on the table. Take it or leave it. If you leave it, there won't be another. We will do as we do.
Why would I? What possible benefit is there to this democracy of yours?
You gain power, influence,
True.
more than you have now, which is what you're aiming for, if I'm not correct. Power,
Well,
influence, to make yourself a name.
I should say infamy is better, but let's start there then. Democracy it is. Have you anything to vote on?
He says, all in favor. What's your? Would he know your full name? Would he just know Miriam Santos? Do you have more name than that?
Let's see. Yeah, that's my full name.
Okay. He says, all in favor of Miriam Santos being granted a seat at this table, equal power, opportunity, position, and an equal vote in everything we have to say. All who say aye, Raise your hand. And I think there's probably 11 people at this table, and I think 7, including Ingrid and the professor, raise their hands. The Irishman does not. He's
smile
one
at
of the
him.
4. And he says, he turns to you and says, well, Miriam, welcome to our table. Welcome to a position of power on this planet. What do you plan on doing about this fleet? This is your planet now, after all.
Well,
You
I'm
have
part of it.
as equal not only power but responsibility for it and its people.
Correct. I want to know the full accounting of what you have done in the past to facilitate the arrival of this fleet and the negotiations you have tried to make but have obviously failed to achieve results on.
That will take some time. If you will
Give
allow, I
me
will.
Abbreviated and a full report on writing, please.
We had terms with the corporations who would provide them with the natural resources that we do not need, that this planet provided, in exchange for safe harbor. We asked to renegotiate the terms on that agreement. It was becoming more of a stranglehold. They declined, and for our audacity, they sent a fleet, a blockade. The Black Sun has had it out for us since we begun. They have wanted our downfall, and as soon as an opportunity arose, they pounced. And thus, you see them in orbit around us.
And for how long has this amicable relationship gone on, would you say?
60 years? I think somewhere on the table it says 63 to be exact.
So for 60 years, you have failed to infiltrate the corporation, put people in power, and you now sit here with what cards to play?
We sit here with the natural resources that sit below us. To destroy us and the planet would also require them to lose all of that and any recruits they might garnish.
And that is the card you wanted to play with them now, of all times?
Black Sun is, well, they have their own interests. But I'm sure you noticed Yansar's ships on orbit. They are the ones who care about the mineral resources of this planet. They are the ones who will stop Black Sun's excessive reaching.
So you want to trade Black Sun for Yansar?
We would like to return to the equilibrium of the past. We have struggled here, it is true, but we have survived, and we have done so without corporate godfathers looking over our shoulder.
I see. Well, I only really had the one idea. You see, the fact that they are willing to pay me a substantial amount to remove the impediments to their hostile takeover is concerning, to say the least. I don't want you to be alarmed, but were I to leave this place for an extended amount of time, like say half a year, I do not expect I would see more than a rubble when I return. That is the state of the Black Sun Corporation.
Then what is your plan?
Well, like I said, either I must present a credible removal of the people who have impeded them so far, or you must find a different corporation, or you take up the mantle that you so proclaim you have, which is the rule of the people, and you fight back.
We would be destroyed.
Maybe. But there is only two ways to get destroyed. You give up bit by bit, and for all intents and purposes, concede that Black Sun has won. This would have destroyed you as effectively as if you had fought back. But if you fight back, you can get support elsewhere. You can appeal to the masses of peoples who are free. You can send out a message that this sort of bullying is not acceptable.
But we would
And
never be able to hold our positions here. The
you would never
university
be
would be
able to-
lost.
Yes,
The town would be lost. So what?
true.
We
How many months do you expect you can hold out? Do you
in
have
this
supply?
city, in this university. You've seen the position. It's open. And we are not military strategists. We are academics. I doubt we
You
would last a
have-
day.
Do you have a nuclear bunker?
Not here.
Well, somewhere.
To survive, we would have to abandon these places. To fight in, well, what I believe they called guerrilla warfare. Decentralized.
Yes.
This we could not do.
Not for long, but you would certainly hold your own for at least a month or two. Enough time for ships to arrive. I could delay the coming of this for some time. I can.
Who would aid us? Who would come?
Well, if you don't send word, nobody. But there is a chance. There are people who would be willing to support you only if they knew you needed the help.
You know when we talk?
Yeah.
Miriam has friends out there. At least she's told me.
Tail, you can.
Oh,
Do
Jesus Christ.
you want to roll to assist, Tail?
That's why
And
I was
see
doing
if you
that.
give a plus. Yeah.
Yep. I might get a +1, so a partial success.
You will not.
Nope.
Because even though I have good charisma, I have shitty talk.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'm not an expert, so I can't re-roll this.
Okay. I think. Yeah. I mean, I think the professor says. I think you've given everybody in this room much to think about. I believe we should adjourn today's meeting and go our separate ways and do our whatever we need to consider these matters and our step forwards. We shall re-adjourn in, shall we say, 7 days' time to discuss?
Not sooner. What could you possibly do in 7 days?
Think through the possible ramifications of abandoning everything we know and everything we do to fight a insurgent style guerrilla action. It is not an easy decision, Miriam. Unlike you, we have not spent our entire lives fighting. We are not warriors. This is not what we do.
Well, I wish you good luck on your thinking. I'll maybe be back in 7 days. If I leave, I think you only have a 3 months time until the Black Sun Corporation moves from hostile to exceedingly violent.
As you leave, do you want to roll me another talk?
Yeah.
That parting comments. See how effective they were. Okay. All right. What do we want to do? It's your book. Like, the corporation would let you leave if you want. Like, Black Sun isn't keeping you here.
No. Well, Black Sun isn't keeping me here, and well, we have 7 days until the reconvened meeting? Question mark.
Yeah.
So I believe we. I want to find Harold, so I'm gonna call him. I'm just gonna be like,
yeah. How
phone.
does tell me how this plays out?
Olga doesn't pick up.
Asshole.
Have you turned off your like location services on your compad?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
He's on the
And-
ground. I don't think it'd work down there.
They do.
Yeah, I think as we're leaving, Miriam just like, so as a member of this board, do I have my own department?
The board has little to do with running the university.
Interesting. But you're all compromised of university people.
We are. But this is more of the governance of this world and less of the university.
I suppose so. Yes. I assume there is a rank or something that comes with my position, as well as some classified information. So I have a lot of things to tend to over 7 days.
I'm sure you do.
Where is my office?
Yeah. He probably notes one for you. I think, if you go there, it's just some abandoned office that hasn't been used in many years.
60 years.
It's a supply closet.
Nah, it's definitely like an office, but like it's clearly one that like the chair is probably overturned on the desk and like it's old.
Yeah.
Dust everywhere, hasn't been opened.
Ethan, you are my aide de camp. Clear this room. Clean it.
Oh, is it get Ethan's there?
Everyone
I
does.
mean, he'll do it.
He's my
Come on.
NPC, so that's kind of bad.
He'll do it.
Ah,
I think with that, as we move into the next series of scenes, kind of quick break. I'm gonna
Sounds
get
good.
another drink.
Okay.
Matt
I
was
think
not ready for that.
no. I mean, I was. I was just.
love.
It's only been an hour. You're gonna make me do a lot of edits in this VOD. That was a sigh of exasperation. We'll be right back. I'm not gonna put the timer up. I'll give you guys some lovely music, but we'll be like back before 5 minutes is up.
Yeah,
Alright,
once
be right
we're
back.
done.